They didn't just skip my son's birthday, they erased him like he didn't exist. I decorated the whole backyard, balloons, cake, gifts, music, and still every chair stayed empty. My little boy, Liam, kept asking, "Mom, when will Grandma come? Where's Uncle Josh? Where's Aunt Megan?" And my heart shattered with every question. If you've ever felt betrayed by the very people who should have stood by you, then you need to hear this story till the end. Don't forget to subscribe and share, because what happened next will shock you more than what they did that day. That night, after putting Liam to bed, I sat staring at the untouched cake. I called my mom, my siblings, even texted in the family group chat. Not a single reply. Not even an excuse. It was like we didn't matter. The silence felt louder than any insult they could have thrown at me. But 1 week later, just when I started to believe we were forgotten for good, a message popped up from Mom. The subject line wasn't an apology. It wasn't even about Liam. It was something so cold and selfish that I froze in disbelief the second I read it. Her message didn't say sorry. It didn't ask about Liam. Instead, it read, "Anissa, we need you to send $12,000 right away. Your sister's house deal is about to collapse, and you're the only one who can help. Don't be selfish." My hands shook. After ignoring my son's birthday, after leaving him humiliated and heartbroken, now they wanted my money? I stared at the text over and over, thinking maybe I was hallucinating. But no, it was real. I typed back, "You couldn't even show up for Liam. Why should I save your deal?" Seconds later, Mom replied, "Don't drag kids into this. Adults handle money. Family should sacrifice when needed." Sacrifice? My son's smile was their sacrifice. My tears were their sacrifice. And now they had the audacity to call me selfish? That night I couldn't sleep. I remembered every moment they mocked me. How they laughed when I chose to work 2 jobs instead of marrying rich like my sister. How they whispered that Liam deserved better than a single mom who was barely scraping by. They thought I was weak. They thought I had nothing. What they didn't know was that for years, I had been building something quietly, piece by piece, in the shadows of their judgment. 2 years ago, I started a small online business, handmade decor and custom party supplies. At first, it barely paid the bills, but I kept pushing. I worked nights while Liam slept, teaching myself marketing, design, and shipping logistics. The orders grew, the brand expanded, and before long, I wasn't just surviving, I was thriving. My bank account didn't scream poverty anymore. It screamed freedom, but I never told them. I let them believe I was still struggling, because honestly, I wanted to see how far their arrogance would go. And now, here it was, a text demanding $12,000 like I was their personal ATM. I didn't reply that night. Instead, I planned. Something inside me shifted. I realized this was the moment I had been waiting for. The moment to stop being silent, to show them who I had become. And I knew exactly how to do it. The next morning, Mom called me directly. Her voice was sharp. "Anissa, are you ignoring us? We need that money today. Don't embarrass the family. Everyone is counting on you. Everyone." They didn't even count Liam enough to show up for his cake. I swallowed my anger and calmly said, "If you want my answer, then come to my house this Saturday. Bring everyone. We'll talk face to face." She hesitated, then agreed, probably thinking I was finally about to bow down. But deep inside, I was smiling, because Saturday wasn't going to be a normal family meeting. It was going to be the day they realized the poor single mom they mocked had more power than all of them combined. And I already knew the look on their faces would be priceless. Saturday came faster than I expected. I woke up before sunrise, heart pounding with both fear and excitement. This wasn't just another family gathering. This was war, and for once, I wasn't the one unarmed. I decorated my living room with the leftover party supplies from Liam's birthday, the same balloons and banners they had ignored. The untouched cake, which I had frozen, sat thawing on the counter. I wanted them to see what they had skipped, what they had dismissed like it was nothing. By noon, the cars began pulling up. First Mom, dressed like she was the queen of the world. Then Uncle Josh with his loud laugh, and finally my sister Megan, the golden child, with her perfect hair and smug smile. They walked in without knocking, their eyes darting around my house like they were already judging it. Liam sat quietly on the couch, clutching his toy car, looking at them like strangers. "Anissa," Mom started, putting on her fake sweet tone. "We didn't mean to hurt you last week. You know how busy everyone is. But right now, Megan really needs you. Her house deal is collapsing and family helps family. So about that $12,000? I let her finish, then pointed to the half-deflated balloons. "Do you see these? They've been here since last Saturday. That was Liam's birthday. Do you remember? The day all of you promised to come, and not a single one of you showed up?" Megan rolled her eyes. "Oh, don't be dramatic. Kids forget birthdays. A house is more important than a party." Liam's small voice cut through the tension. "I didn't forget." Everyone froze. The room went silent, but I could see the irritation in Megan's eyes, the guilt flickering in Mom's, and the arrogance in Josh's smirk. Mom cleared her throat. "Anissa, don't twist this. We're here to solve something urgent. We can't waste time on petty feelings. Sign the check, and let's move on." I walked to the counter, lifted the thawed cake, and placed it right in front of them. "This is what you ignored. This is what you called petty. You all erased my son for your convenience, and now you expect me to erase my bank account for yours?" Josh scoffed. "Stop pretending you even have that kind of money. We all know you're barely making it. Don't embarrass yourself." That's when the moment I had been waiting for arrived. My pulse quickened as I reached into the drawer, pulled out a neat folder, and dropped it on the table. Inside were financial statements, business growth reports, and proof of contracts with major retailers who stocked my products. Pages of numbers that told the truth I had kept hidden for years, their jaws tightened. Megan leaned over the papers, her face draining of color. Mom blinked, stunned. Josh muttered, "This has to be fake." But I didn't stop there. I opened my phone, projecting screenshots of my accounts onto the TV screen. Balances that showed not hundreds, not thousands, but 6 figures sitting untouched. Liam's future secured, every dollar earned by the woman they mocked. "You thought I was struggling," I said, voice firm. "You thought I was desperate. But I've built something bigger than any of you imagined. And today, you don't get to demand from me. Today, you get to realize you've already lost." The silence was heavier than anything I had felt before. Their faces told me everything. Shock, disbelief, and a growing fear of the power shift they had never seen coming. But I wasn't finished. I leaned forward, looked straight at Mom, and whispered, "You didn't show up for my son. Don't expect me to show up for your deal." And with that, I pushed the folder back toward them, waiting for their reaction. Mom's face turned red, like she'd been slapped in front of the whole world. "Anissa, don't play games with us. You think flashing numbers makes you better than family? We raised you. You owe us respect." I laughed, but it wasn't out of humor. It was out of disbelief. Respect? Respect would have been showing up for your grandson. Respect would have been sending a text, making a call, something. Instead, you ghosted us, and now you think money will buy back what you broke. Megan's eyes narrowed, her voice dripping with venom. "You always had a victim complex. Nobody came because, honestly, we were tired of your pity parties. But fine, you've got money. Big deal. If you really cared about family, you'd help me keep my house." Her arrogance lit a fire inside me. I turned to Liam, who was still clutching his toy car, watching everything with wide eyes. "Sweetheart, do you hear that? They didn't come to your birthday because they were tired of us. Not because they were busy, because they didn't care." His little lip trembled, and Mom snapped, "Don't drag him into adult matters." "No," I said firmly. "He deserves to hear the truth. Because this isn't about adults. This is about a child who was forgotten." Josh slammed his fist on the table. "Cut the drama. Just write the damn check already. Don't embarrass yourself in front of your kid." That was it. I stood tall, fire in my chest. "Embarrass myself? You all embarrassed yourselves the day you chose greed over love. And you know what's funny? That $12,000 you're begging for? It's pocket change to me now. I could buy Megan's house 10 times over. But I won't. Not for people who treat my son like he's invisible." Their mouths hung open. The silence stretched, broken only by the faint hum of the fridge. For once, the balance had shifted. They weren't the ones with power anymore. I was. I walked to the door, opened it wide, and pointed outside. Get out! All of you. You don't get to eat my food, sit in my house, and insult my child while demanding my money. From now on, if you want to see Liam, you'll need to earn it. And if you can't, then you've already lost him, Mom gasped. You wouldn't dare. But before she could finish, Liam tugged my hand and whispered loud enough for them all to hear. Mom, can we cut the cake? Just us? The look on their faces, shame, anger, and a hint of regret, was more satisfying than any check I could have written. But I wasn't done, because the real twist was still coming, one they could never have predicted. I lit the candles on that week-old cake, the room still heavy with the tension of my family's silence. Liam's eyes sparkled as he whispered, Make a wish, Mom. I leaned down and said, My only wish is that you always know your worth, even when others try to make you feel small. Together, we blew out the candles while my so-called family stood frozen, like statues who had just watched their power slip away. Mom finally broke the silence. Anissa, you're making a mistake. Family is all you have. I turned to her, steady and unshaken. No, Mom. Family is supposed to show up. And the truth is, I already have everything I need. Liam and we're doing just fine, Josh muttered under his breath. She thinks she's better than us now. I didn't even flinch. No, Josh, I don't think I'm better. I know I'm stronger, and that strength came from the very pain you caused. Then came the twist I had been holding back. I pulled out another envelope. This one wasn't financial reports. It was a deed. Remember when you mocked me for wasting time on crafts? Well, the house Megan is trying to buy? The owner approached me last month about investing. Guess whose name is already on the papers? Megan's face turned pale. No, you're lying. She snatched the envelope, her hands trembling as she saw my signature, bold and undeniable. I leaned closer, my voice low but sharp. I don't just have the money. I own the very thing you're begging for. While you mocked me, I was building an empire under your noses. And now, you'll never get a piece of it. The room erupted, Mom shouting, Megan crying, Josh pacing. But I stood calm, holding Liam's hand. For years, I had been the quiet one, the overlooked one, the underestimated one. But not anymore. I walked them to the door, my words final. You missed his birthday. You missed your chance at my trust. And you just lost your chance at my success. Don't come back. The door slammed, and for the first time in my life, the silence that followed wasn't painful. It was freedom. Liam grinned, frosting on his cheek, and whispered, Mom, it's better this way. We don't need them, and he was right. In that moment, I realized the greatest revenge wasn't the money, the house, or the power. It was showing them that the woman they mocked had built a life so strong, so unshakable, that their absence didn't break us. It set us free. The little boy they ignored? He was celebrated. The single mom they pitied? She was victorious. And the family who tried to use me? They walked away with nothing but regret. That was the day I stopped being the underdog. That was the day they learned. Never underestimate the strength of the woman you tried to erase.